What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I wanted to do a deep dive discussing some of the best opportunities, best singles that you could be buying in this Pokemon market. You guys have been loving this series where we just go over some really good opportunities where people aren't looking in this market and where you can make some money. Before we get started, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. We are trying to hit 3,000 subscribers. If you guys ever want to support the channel, purchase something from us, make sure to visit our website, PokeKingShop.com. If you prefer shopping on eBay, hit our eBay link. This will direct you to my store. You don't even have to buy from me. Just by clicking that link, you're showing support to the channel at no additional cost to you. But yeah, let's jump in. 151. There's been a lot of interest around 151, and I wanted to do a comparison. I got two different Blastoise here. We're going to be talking about the Mega Blastoise EX Full Art from XY Evolutions, but let's begin by talking about the 151. So what you're finding in this market is demand is carrying everything. So there's been a lot of interest in the 151 sealed product. And as a result of the sealed product going up, you're finding that the singles are making moves as well. So let's just take a look at the chart here. Past month, not so much, but past 3 months, you're up 40%. It hit a high of 220. I'm assuming this is going to be for a near mint copy, near mint comparison prices. It did drop off a little bit. We're in this like $150, $160 range right now. But nonetheless, on a percentage scale, this is a lot of growth for a card and for a set that's been out for many years. It got released in 2023. We're now in 2026. And for just so much demand flowing into these products, that is what's causing the prices to go up. Now, if we take a look at the Mega Blastoise, this is arguably a more historic set because it is the year that Pokemon Go got released. Evolutions brought so many people back into the hobby. Now, obviously, the Pokemon market wasn't as big, but the sealed packs and product of Evolutions are still more expensive than 151. And now, this isn't a SIR or anything like that. This is just a full art. But the fact that this is like $60 near mint, it almost feels like there's a mismatch for some of the older product as a result of there not being so much demand. So not as many people are talking about a set like XY Evolutions. Everybody's so focused on 151. That is why you're finding all of the money to be flowing in 151. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a weak buy. I still believe that this Blastoise, it being a Gen 1 fully evolved starter, it has more room to run. 151 is truly a historic set as well. Arguably one of the best in the Scarlet Violet era, no doubt there. But the fact that there isn't as much attention on XY Evolutions is precisely the exact reason that you should be buying it. Because how can a old full art card like this be $50 and you have a newer SIR trading 3 times as much? Again, I'm not saying that this one's, overvalued or overpriced, but I think this one is significantly undervalued. And I think you just need to be looking at the market and recognizing that, look, just because everybody's buying right now, look somewhere else. And me looking somewhere else, if I had $150 to spend, I would rather get 2 or potentially 3 copies of this Mega Blastoise as opposed to one SIR. I think on a percentage scale, you're going to find significantly more success having multiple copies of this because of how cheap the price is. Like if you buy at an average of $60 and this goes up to $100 and you have 3 copies, you've made $120. For you to make that same $120, we're betting on this Blastoise being near $300. What do you think is more likely to happen in the next 6 months? Well, I think you're going to see that gain a lot easier with this Mega Blastoise because of how cheap it is, as opposed to this one, which has already increased in price. Now, if you have the money, buy both, right? You can't go wrong diversifying within Pokemon, or let's say you're investing in Blastoise, really like Blastoise, diversifying within different Blastoise singles, excellent opportunity. But if you are working with limited capital, this is how you need to be thinking about where to park your money. Next on, I wanted to talk about just exclusive promos, specifically this one, Team Rocket's Moltres EX. This UPC, it was not accessible to a lot of people. It didn't hit stores or anything like that. It was available for a very limited time. People initially knocked this down because they kind of took a lazy approach in the sense that they just took the SIR Moltres and all they did is they just added the Destined Rivals stamp. But I'm going to be honest, as Destined Rivals begins to grow in value, it becomes more valuable. Moltres being one of the top, better SIR, not nearly as good as a Mewtwo, but easily like a top 5, let's say. People are going to be priced out from buying the normal SIR. If you're able to get the stamped promo one, which is the exact same artwork for a fraction of the price, that's where the demand is going to go. And again, as we just saw with this example of 151 and the demand for these cards, if demand shifts to buying out these stamped SIR cards, these are going to explode in price. And, when I first saw this card, I wasn't tracking the value or anything, but I just looked at it. $70, it just feels too low. It feels too low with how expensive Destined Rivals is. In my eyes, it's like a $200 card, $150 minimum. So the fact that this is trading at like 50% of that, it tells me that the market is not properly valuing these exclusive like products, and they don't know how to do it. And how do I know that to be true? Well, let's take a look at this one. This is just a regular Gengar. Sure, this is the Cosmos Holo, but this is the regular Gengar that you could pull from Perfect Order, which currently is the worst set in the Mega Evolution block. All it has is the GameStop stamp, nothing else, and this is a $200 promo. Right here, even market price $220, most recent sale $225, past 3 months up 116%. Now, Gengar, sure, more popular than Moltres, but if you look at the artwork, not even talking about the Pokemon, this is just a normal holo design. This is an SIR from one of the best sets, best mainland set in Scarlet Violet. I don't think anybody would disagree. Destined Rivals is top tier. And it has the Destined Rivals stamp as well. And for this to be trading at 1/3 the price, when I see how expensive a Gengar little GameStop promo card can get, there's just way more room for the Moltres to run. Now, the Gengar one, you could only buy at GameStop. There's far fewer copies, I'm sure. There's way more UPCs out there, which is why this one's more expensive. I'm not disputing that the Gengar should or shouldn't be more expensive, but I just think that this card has so much more room to run. Easily could be seeing a quick double. You look at the past 3 months, it's only up 27%. The Gengar, on the other hand, is up 116%. Just seeing the success of exclusive cards like this, it tells me that there's opportunity to look out elsewhere. And me personally, if I had the choice, kind of like we discussed with the Blastoise, I would rather have 3 of these Moltres cards as opposed to one of the Gengar. I think it will perform significantly better over the long haul. Let's move on over. I've made a few videos discussing gold cards, and gold cards, for whatever reason, they were super hype right when Mega Evolution dropped, but now they are just cheap and they are a screaming buy. Past 6 months, down 40-50%. These are not easy to pull by any means. Doesn't matter which set it is. The gold cards are not easy to pull. And the fact that they are dropping in value is kind of almost counterintuitive, seeing that SIR cards across the board are going up. This presents a really good opportunity. This is a very similar situation of what we had with rainbow cards, where rainbow cards were actually going down in price. Nobody wanted them. The Pokemon Company then discontinued them, and then they skyrocketed. I do believe that the Pokemon Company eventually will shift away from printing the gold cards, and they will come up with some kind of new mega hyper rare, so to speak. And even the Lucario, $230, it's one of the hardest cards to pull in Mega Evolution. You're paying $300 for a booster box, and you're telling me top 3 best cards in the set. It's not even covering the price of the box. It's just a mismatch. No reason for this card to be dropping this much. Opened out the gate at $400. Now that is a more, I guess, respectable price. A lot of the value of the singles is also driven by what the sealed product is doing, or not the sealed product, what the graded cards are doing. So if the graded cards are going down, maybe, specifically gold cards in PSA 10, they're just not hitting record highs as opposed to SIR, which is why the singles are going down. But again, this is a safe place to be buying. Down 40%. How much lower can it go? You're not going to see these gold cards for $100. They're just too rare, not enough hitting the market. Past year, down 60%. Initially, these were $700. $600 to $700 is very, very strong. Now, I don't think they're immediately going to hit. Eventually, they will get back to these prices, but I could easily see a quick swing within the next year, rebounding to $300. We just need to wait for some more products to come out, After we get the Pitch Black set with the Mega Darkrai, I'm assuming there's going to be a gold card for that. We'll get a Rayquaza set, gold Rayquaza, and then people will want to collect them all. As a result, that's going to cause all of the gold cards to go up in price. But just something I noticed, really good opportunity. But not every SIR is treated equal. Let's look at the Mega Feraligatr from Ascended Heroes here. Past 6 months, down 30%. And this is a very popular Pokemon. Beautiful artwork. You could hit it from the God Packs. But even if you pull it as a single, the fact that this is $170 market price, open out the gate $230, dropped as low as $140, beginning to rebound. Ascended Heroes is getting more expensive by the day. ETBs are hitting new record highs every single week. And some cards are carrying with that growth, like Pikachu, Gengar, Mewtwo, Charizard, the most popular Pokemon. But still relatively popular Pokemon like Feraligatr, like these are actually suffering right now. You know, you look at the past 6 months overall since release, it's down a lot. I think this is a pretty safe place to park your money as well. If you want to diversify between SIR cards and gold cards, you can't really go wrong with either. But just another interesting observation I had, there's a lot of opportunity in the singles market, and you're not finding the same thing with sealed products. Sealed products seems to be a little bit more streamlined, whereas singles kind of are all over the place. And if you're able to recognize the opportunities, you could definitely make a lot of money. Next up is actually a battle deck promo. So this I think was the May release. Mega Evolution Haunter illustration rare. You could only get it from the League Battle deck, and this one is really, really undervalued. This one actually has recently experienced some buyouts. About February, we were at $20-$30, and then it hit over 60, rebounded in the 50s, but this should be a $100 card just because the PSA 10 version of this card continues hitting all-time highs, and that is another really easy way to know when the singles are going to go up or down, just seeing what the graded card prices are doing. If a PSA 10 is hitting a record high price, it's going to cause the singles to go up. If PSA 10s are not hitting and they're actually like in auctions hitting lower prices, that's going to cause the singles to drop in value. But the Haunter, you know, it's in the Gengar family line. Gengar continues to dominate. There's been so much demand for it. I don't see how this card hasn't gone up in price higher. If we look at the overall year, it was super, super undervalued in the $20 mark. And, you know, now I'm making a video when it tripled in value, but this card still has more room to run. I could easily see another double from here. So if you're just looking to diversify within illustration rares, I highly recommend looking at promo illustration rares because many of them, especially from popular Pokemon like Haunter, are still undervalued. And how do I know that to be true? Well, I'll look at a standard set from something that's a lot older, like Scarlet Violet Base, Drowsy. This card in a PSA 10 is $1,000. The fact that you have near mint copies at 70, you know, that risk to reward ratio is very, very well worth it because you could buy a 9 or 10 contender, you could take that risk, spend $30 on grading, and your all-in cost is 100 for a potential 10x. It's just a very, very good way to kind of signal what the market's doing. And Drowsy is actually another excellent example that's undervalued. If you look at the past 6 months, this one has gone kind of the same direction, exact same thing as what you see with the Haunter, where it was in that $20, $30 price point, and then it doubled, potentially even tripled. Let's say 30 up to 60 and holding at about the $60 line. So doubled. This one doubled in value, but same thing. You know, we could be seeing another double from here. Like this could be a $150 to $200 illustration rare just due to the fact that the PSA 10, if it continues trading in the four figures, that is going to cause all of the near mint copies to just go up. And I think a lot of people know that, and which is why they're not going to be undercutting because there's no need to undercut. In this market, there is no reason. You just wait and eventually somebody will buy it. And that's kind of the shift you're seeing. So another easy way to tell right there. And the last card I wanted to end off on, and this is just an example, but pretty much any SIR from a popular set under $100. Team Rocket, Crobat. This is from Destined Rivals. $70 card. It just feels cheap. You could buy it right now, pay $10 higher, $80. Again, for how expensive the sealed products are getting, $10, $15 a pack. You know, you open 5 packs, 6 packs, you're probably not going to hit an SIR. So how are the SIRs that cheap? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, which is why it's another very safe place to buy. SIRs are the highest rarities as well from the Scarlet Violet era. You're buying from popular sets like Destined Rivals, Surging Sparks, anything like that. You can't really beat it. And this hit a high of 73 in the last 6 months, past year. All time, only $105. You know, this card shouldn't have ever dropped because the sealed product went up in price, so how can the content inside be going down? Just another obvious play. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something, kind of understood how to value cards, how to handle this market, what's going on, and just some of the best buys that you could be making. This is just what I'm seeing. If you find any value, again, guys, make sure to subscribe. Seeing the subscriber count goes up tells me that you guys like the videos. Obviously, like it if you enjoyed the video. If you guys ever want wholesale Pokemon access, you want access to factory sealed cases, check out some of our tiers right here. We have the starter tier, we have the elite tier. A lot of people are on the wait list right now. The elite tier actually has an application, so you have to answer a few questions. You will not get charged unless you get accepted into the group, so it's not like you're paying for nothing. You only get charged if you get accepted in the group. Right now, we have the Chaos Rising release, obviously waiting for Pitch Black. A lot of people are trying to get in essentially before the 30th anniversary because everybody's going to try to save as much money as they can on ETBs, UPCs, etc., all of which we're going to offer. If you guys don't care about buying factory sealed cases and you just want to buy some individual products, be sure to pick something up from my website right here, PokeKingShop.com. But that's all I have, guys. Hopefully you learned something. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you here on the next one.